Hello, fellow educators. Today I would like to share an app I was recently introduced to, Classkick. This app is an assignment resource that gives teachers the opportunity to share slides, view student work, and give feedback in real time, and create a learning community powered by peer support. Today, I will cover how I use Classkick to set up an ongoing assignment, utilize tools to create dynamic slides, facilitate peer support, and deliver feedback. Now that we've created a new assignment, let's go into one of the slides to take a look at the tools available in Classkick. To access a slide, I just need to click on it. And now I have options to add things onto my Classkick slide. First, I have a pen tool. The pen tool allows me, of course, to write on the document as if doing so with a pen. This is a tool I rarely use to actually create an assignment, but it might be important for when you're importing diagrams. Another tool that is available is the highlighter mode. This is great for highlighting important points or important topics in perhaps text. Another option we have here is our eraser mode, which actually erases the entire thing that you've written. So instead of erasing parts, it erases the whole thing. Another tool you have access to is a text box. Here I can type text for different prompts. I also have a line tool. And notice that when I click on new tools that I haven't used in a while, it does pop up with its own small tutorial. So I've got line tools here. I've got a tool to add links. It would pop up as a small link box that I can move around in place. I can add images from the computer or take them with the camera. I can add audio by either selecting a file that I'd like my students to listen to or recording some of my own voice notes in order for them to have access. Again, it creates a voice box that I can later delete. In addition to all of these sorts of creation tools, they also have manipulatives. Again, I have a small tutorial here available. We also have fill in the blank types of questions, as well as multiple choice questions. So within your Classkick assignment, you have tools to create and add, as well as questioning tools for assessment. Now that we've learned how to use the different tools in Classkick, let's look at one of my own assignments to see how I facilitate Classkick in the virtual and physical classroom. Here's the Classkick I've assigned to Algebra 1. Again, I specify to my students that I use this for a cooperation grade, and it acts as an exit ticket. I suggest that they bookmark this page because it makes it easier for students to sign in. On the next slide, students access their first Classkick. I usually start Classkick off with a tutorial of how to use the various tools, so students have an opportunity to use things like the text box, the microphone tool, the pen tool again here, and manipulatives. Again, these are just a few of the many tools available in Classkick, but it was a good way to start them off and get to know them a bit. Their next assignment, which was on the same day, required them to do a little bit of critical thinking and reflection on what they need to succeed in my math class. From here on out, students understand that the following days are used as their exit ticket. On the 27th and 28th, for example, my students went over a growth mindset activity with me, and so their exit ticket was to reflect on what they learned from the activity. And again, moving forward, every day they will have access to a new slide in the Classkick. Students have the option to choose different slides and jump around, especially as they start to get more and more days on this list of slides. Now let's take a look at how I facilitate peer support with my students. To do this, I'm going to duplicate this assignment and I'm going to assign this to a new roster. To assign classes, I'm going to click on the Assign tab up here at the top, and I'm going to assign our sample roster, Sample Classkick. Notice you also have an option to import from Google Classroom if you're willing to pay for the Pro version of Classkick. Now that I've assigned a sample roster, which now has 0 students, I can provide students with the assignment code for their roster. By clicking on this link, I can copy the link into Schoology or other LMS that we are using for school. Students can continue to use the same link throughout the semester if you choose to use the assignment the way I use it in my classroom, as an exit ticket or warm-up or daily journal. Let's go back to Edit and make sure that our students are getting points for all their assignments. Notice that my first slide has 0 points and that the following slides are each assigned 4 points. To change that, I can click and change the amount of points if I so choose. We're mastery grading at our school, so I'll stick with 4 points for each slide. By clicking back on Assign, I can make sure students can see the grades by clicking on this tab. I can also make sure that students have the opportunity to help each other by making sure the Helpers tab is green as well. Notice that you have options to hide or lock assignments from students if you needed to get their full attention in the classroom. From here, I can click on View Work to see how my students are progressing. Before we start talking about the teacher dashboard, let's take a quick look at what students see. To demonstrate this, I use the same link that I share with students and create a sample student account. There's a Classkick tutorial for students, courtesy of Jessica, that you can provide to your class so that they know how to use the tools and the hand-raising option. Besides providing them with the tutorial, I do like to take a little bit of time to show them how to use some of these tools and discuss how crucial the helper dashboard is. Students can find the helper dashboard with this hand, and by raising their hand, they have the option to ask for help or to ask someone to come check their work. Notice that here on my student page, I now have 2 people with their hands raised in the help inbox. And on the student's end, both of these people are displayed anonymously. Students can navigate to each other's pages and offer feedback the same way the teacher can. I often make helping at least one classmate a requirement for a daily activity. Let's go back to the teacher dashboard where we can see so much. First, notice that August has a green hand up for a check, and Sam has a yellow hand up for some help. On our students' dashboard, they have it anonymous. For us, we can see their names. And thus here are the two raised hands, no longer anonymous because we are on the teacher dashboard. Here, we can see who has provided and received help. We can also drop some stickers for completion. We'll want to dive a little deeper though, so let's start with Adrian's page 3. Here we see August left some feedback directly on the assignment. I usually ask them to use their favorite color and add their name, but you can leave this out if you want things to remain anonymous. We can also see over here on the Help Center, which is accessible by clicking on the hand. And we can have a chance to see when they raised their hand and who put their hand down by visiting and offering feedback. We can use this tab to switch over to August's Classkick. Notice the green dot because Sam is still working on their Classkick. On August's Classkick, let's arrow over to the 4th page. As the teacher, we have the option to click on the hand to see this correspondence between students, don't forget. Here we can see that Adrian left some really nice detailed feedback for August. Let's also leave some feedback for August. I usually like to use the audio tool so that students can hear my feedback rather than read it. Hi, August. This is Mrs. Martin. I like that you remembered growth mindset and fixed mindset don't necessarily correlate to grades, but rather to attitude about learning. I'll drag that over here so it's nicely placed. And we can also give them a sticker. Notice that stickers can have points, like this one. You can move that to a better spot. You can also have stickers that just have feedback to let them know to check the document. You can also click up here to just type points. Let's go back to our dashboard to navigate to our last student. Sam needs help on page 3, indicated by this yellow hand. Again, I can access the correspondence between students and teachers by clicking on the hand. Sam said, I need help on number 2. The 9 is bigger than the 1, but it has 2 zeros in front. Does this make it less? Let's give him some support. Now that I've answered Sam, notice that Sam's hand was put down. And now Sam can return to the document and see the feedback and hopefully get the support that they needed to answer number 2. To wrap this up, please know that the teacher dashboard has a few other viewing options. We can view all slides like this, where you can see student progression through slides, especially if you're using one assignment with many slides for one class session. You can also view one slide at a time to see students' progress on individual slides. The viewing here is a little larger, so sometimes it's easier to just drop in some stickers and drop in some points. Finally, we can sort our viewing by student name, last name, and even grades, high to low. Notice also on your teacher dashboard that you've got some options for filters, where you can hide student names, especially if you're sharing your screen. You can shrink thumbnails, and finally, lock the assignment, which could come in handy when you're trying to get students' attention. Now that you've heard some of my own personal tips and tricks, take some time to hear what Classkick has to say about their app by going to classkick.com and checking out some of their videos. They have lots to offer, and I'm sure that you'll tweak this material to meet your classroom needs. Best of luck!